Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Unlocked. It's your boy Mike Lenz.
And this is your boy Jared. And for this chapter of My Hero Academia, we just want to let you know beforehand that any comments that will be dropped down into the comment section, we'll probably pick a comment from there and we'll probably put it in our next video, kind of to have a little more connection with you guys. So if you want to drop a comment down, and your comment will be chosen to be put into our next video. So drop that comment down below, guys.
Yes sir, yes sir, all love is welcome. But get into this week's chapter of My Hero Academia, chapter 270. It is called Succession. And I think this is something we kind of been waiting for, but let's start off with like these first few panels, right? So we see President Mike talking to X-Less, and he's like, hey man, you go deal with Shigaraki, I got the doctor secure. And in my head I'm just thinking like, off rip, just reading that, I'm like, bro, like, you might be done for. It might be quiet for homeboy by next chapter. In my intuition, in my head, I'm thinking like, yeah, it's fine for you.
Bro, when I think I said this last chapter, when I first saw his character design, I was like, yeah, it was a wrap for you, bro. There's not enough detail in your character design for you to make it through this series. So
that's a fact. Did they even show what his power is? That's when if they just show your name and don't care about your power, it's like, yeah.
They mentioned what the name of his quirk was, but they didn't mention what it does. And it's kind of funny that they didn't do that, because President Mike is usually the one that does the introductions of quirks, and he's there. So it's kind of, I don't know if that's a thing, but that's just interesting. So
nah, that's a fact. That's not a fact. But then like it goes to the next part of that same page. It's like every second that goes by, you need to act. Period. So my next thing is, he notices that the machine is like almost like alive, because it kind of like blocked some of the damage from damaging the tube itself. And my thing is, I always notice like All For One is like in everybody's business, bro. Like it don't matter if you in America, it don't matter if you underground in the Underground Railroad. Like he's smiling because he just brought up his name. Like
yeah, because bro, he's All For One, bro.
Yeah, that joint's crazy. So I'll be thinking like, I wonder like, is it like a quirk power that he has, or is it something in certain areas that he's able to listen to people talk about him?
Oh yeah, he definitely has a quirk that lets him surveillance the area, bro. Cause the way he be smiling in prison, like he's too happy to be in prison, bro. I don't know whether the food is fire or or his roommate is giving him some crazy.
That's what I'm. And another thing is, bro, imagine being a security guard watching that footage. And this nigga just smiling in his cell. Like, I would be like, yo, does he not know we got AK-47s pointed at his dome?
I know, right? Imagine you gotta go home and think about like, why the F was he smiling? Like,
and then imagine
you all messed up as your wife is talking to you like, baby, what's wrong with you? Like, I don't know why he was smiling. Like, damn. We give him water and like slop for dinner and lunch. Like, what's he so happy about?
I don't know. Like, yo. And another thing, I'm not gonna get into that, but the next panel we see Dr. Garaki, like he starts his speech and he starts putting out some facts that President Mike's just like starting to try to connect the dots, and he's like, all right, they turned a blind eye to like my thesis about pretty much how like the world would like collapse on itself and fall and fail, and they turned a blind eye to me. And President Mike is thinking about what he's talking about, and somehow he's able to line up the dots, and he's like, yeah, the person who did that would be like 120 right now, and they said that he like died. And a part of this kind of goes back to some of the thoughts I had prior, where the doctor got kicked in the face, punched, all types of stuff, and he's good. Like, true. Even his glasses is in perfect shape. Like, I'm like, bro, what's going on, bro? Like, you about 80. You shouldn't be moving like this, and you shouldn't.
But then I was like, maybe he's part of that old man anime syndrome. Like,
nah, bro, because that old
man.
He
takes off the lab coat and he just like
this is Aki, like Master Roshi or something.
Look like Wandissimo underneath there, like.
Nah, but on a serious note, it's like, yeah, like he starts his speech and President Mike connects the dots, and then he goes on to continue and talk about his quirk or his duplicate quirk, and this is where it gets a little confusing. Like, is this quirk an original or a duplicate of preservation? And it's pretty much why he was able to live so long. And President Mike even has a flashback to when the police general was saying like, yo, this is probably why Orphan was able to live for so long, even after all the injuries he sustained and so on and so forth, right? And I just love how they used that conversation and President Mike's quick mind to connect the dots for you. It did get a little tricky with the wording though. I don't know.
Yeah, because he says his quirk is preservation, and then he says I think he says he has the duplicate. So I'm guessing All for One has the original. Like he gave All for One the original. Because later on we know that Shigaraki has the original, so you can obviously pass down original quirks. But then later on he says that I actually wanted preservation. So I didn't understand what that meant. Like, okay, so you do not have it? Did you want to keep it? So it was a little tricky with the words. Maybe it's the translation that we're reading from, but I found that a little tricky. I'm not understanding that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It tripped me up too, like really bad. And I feel like, I don't know if you read this differently as well, but those panels with the square boxes that says like suddenly my distaste for being touched, like at that moment I'm in contact with a part of a large, terrible, and dreadful thing. And I'm thinking like, is that President Mike thinking to himself?
Yeah. I think the round bubbles is the doctor and the square boxes is President Mike in his head. Cause he's like suddenly, cause he's holding the doctor. He's like suddenly, me touching this guy, I can feel like he's a dark. Like I can feel like he's a sick. Like this dude's a sick dude. Like this dude takes kids' quirks. Like this dude runs hospitals just for the fact that he can run experiments and like mutations on people. So you could tell this dude is and like you can see the panel when he's drawing like He has that the girl with the blood quirk, Toga. Like he has her eyes. Like I was like, yo.
Oh, that's a fact.
He's a sick dude.
Yo, my thing is, bro, the way they draw this doctor, bro. Like there's certain panels where you get that creepy factor, like from the contrast of colors, my dumb self. The contrast of like the darkness across his face that brings out the extra detail just to let you
shading,
get that grit, bruh. Like when I looked at that panel, I was like, yo, when it comes to the anime, I can hear the music playing. I can feel the goosebumps rising. Like,
the soundtrack gonna be stupid,
extravagant, fantastic, sensational, like all that. Like, but then right after that, we go into Shigaraki's mind,
psyche. Wow.
Yeah, like this, and like yo, like we say this every week, bro. The drawings.
Yeah, this man draws his ass off.
Bro, like imagine how long it took him to draw this. Like, you got debris, you got hands, Shigaraki walking into nothingness, and then you see that he's having like, I don't know if this is like his like innocence being represented as his family, but you could see Shigaraki like he's interacting with them with like in a warm way that we don't really see him do at all.
Yeah, because when you first get introduced, well, not introduced, but when we first see his mom and his sister, he kind of forgives them. He's like, you know what, it's all right, I'm fine. Mom, it's okay. But then when his father pops up, it immediately triggers, and then he gets the hair color change, and we see that we can see the different aspect of like him almost losing his innocence because his father kind of pushed him over the edge that kind of made him kill his family.
That's a fact. And what were you saying about Shigaraki with his black hair?
Like I was telling you that when he's talking to his family, it's kind of like he has the black hair, which almost kind of shows that he still has like his pure like childhood innocence. But then as soon as his father comes, the hair color changes, and it's like, whoa. I think like because what his father made him do to his family, it kind of like he can never go back after that. And once he sees his dad, it's like you lose that that pureness of being a child,
And it's funny how like not only does the vibe change, but you can see the illustrations of how they draw everybody speaking, like the actual font of the words, right? Like when his mom is speaking, it's like his mom, his sister is like thin, neat, calm,
gentle, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? His pops pull up, his name is Tenko with mad exclamation points. And it's like, yo. And on top of that, like you brought this up to me, which I thought was kind of cool. Like when his hair is black, he he looks like Deku. And we know how pure-hearted and innocent Deku is. Like yo, that like after you said that, I can't stop thinking about like, yo, he did look like Deku. Like if he just didn't put on lotion for a couple of days or something.
Yeah, no chapstick, a little dryness.
That's a fact. Scratch his eyes a little bit.
But I think it even goes deeper into that, bro. I'm just speculating. Maybe this is a different video, but it's just weird that he looks exactly like Deku. And then All Might did mention when he saw Deku's mom that she kind of looked like
his
master. Like just maybe even if it was just the hairstyle, she reminded him of his master. And it's just kind of ironic that the master is the grandmother of Shigaraki, and Shigaraki in childhood looks like Deku.
Yo, imagine Shigaraki was adopted. Nah.
But then that wouldn't work because that wouldn't be his grandmother.
Yeah. I'm doing too much.
It would be just crazy, like maybe like Shigaraki and Deku were like cousins or something.
Yeah.
That'd be dope.
I had some OD smack thought just now. Anyway. Like you said, like his hair color changes back once he wipes his pops away. And you see All For One pops up and he looks like Kodagiri, which is another question that makes me think like, so he has the original or the duplicate quirk? Like I'm assuming that Kodagiri has a duplicate, if anything, and All For One has all the original quirks. Is what I'm assuming what he's saying.
Yeah.
But
and then I also find it interesting that he's kind of surrounded in the shade, and if you go back to when Deku goes to visit his previous users of One For All, they're all kind of covered in that same shade. And now that the All For One's quirk is transferred to Shigaraki, he's seeing the predecessor as in that shade of things. So I think, and All For One did come from, One For All did come from All For One, so it's kind of like makes sense.
That's a tongue twister, so it's cool.
Yeah, I know, bro. That's a hard one.
Nah, on a serious note, you did point that out, and that is really creepy. Like, I'm not gonna hold you. And it does originate technically from All For One, so damn, my nose. It did originally come from All For One, so that does make sense. And the part that's really cool to me the most is like that moment when he's about to make that final step and walk towards All For One. You see his family, which I'm assuming is gonna like represent like his last bit of innocence, like of who Tenko really is. It's trying to hold him back and say, don't forget us, like don't let him like change who you are to the core. And the part is like when he sees his dad yell out Tenko, and then you see his grandmother put his hand on his head, like I don't know if in that moment he's thinking like he actually still like loves his dad, because like his relationship with his dad, you could tell that it's really messed up and dark, but that is still his father. You know what I'm saying? The father figure usually in households is like who the kid would look up to. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if that was like the ultimate like I'm really just done with y'all and I'm moving on. It's Tomura Shigaraki, don't call me Tenko no more.
Yeah, well, I think it's symbolizing the growth, because all the hands that he has there are the hand locations of when remember his original costume with all the hands on him? They're all, this is the position, these are the family members' positions, his grandmother had the hand on the back, the father, the father's hand was the hand on the face, and it kind of just shows growth in the fact that, okay, now I'm officially, because in the beginning of the series, Shigaraki wasn't like the most proficient villain. He made a lot of mistakes, but I think now he's matured as a villain and is like, yo, I don't need the past memories anymore. Like, I'm a new person, and like now I can finally take over as like the number one villain in the world. So
Yeah, but my main thing is when his grandmother puts his hand on his head and she says, "Don't forget us," and you see, I believe, a cut to Deku, or I don't know if it's the thing is the way that panel's cut. It could be Deku or his innocence with the rotary eyes, right? He says stop and continues to walk, and then it's a close-up panel of his eye. Now, I don't know if that eye is supposed to represent like the coldness in the eye or a bit of regret in his eye. And like, I just like, honestly, like this whole psyche of Shigaraki right now is pretty dope.
Yeah.
And
yeah, what this build-up has been crazy. You know, I was expecting something like big to happen, like maybe a big fight, but like this just like holding it out and this tension is just making this series crazy right now.
So crazy, bro. So crazy. And like this chapter ends
with the probable death of this X-ray guy, this X-Plus guy.
It's 100%. 100%. He's about to get washed. He could have got washed by the puddle just now. like
the radiation from Shigaraki right now can kill him.
Like, yo, that's why I'm so interested to see what happens. I'm really curious to see who survives. Like, cause like legit,
Miracle better make it out.
Yo, but like I said before, like, yo, seeing all those heroes rush in reminded me of when Shigaraki first unlocked his full potential of his power, his quirk, right? He erased everybody up that alleyway that tried to kill him. And the way those heroes stormed in, I'm like, this is like looking very similar to that same moment. So who's gonna survive? I don't know. And another thing I do want to touch on is that the completion rate was at 75%. So I don't know if that's gonna be a defect in the future. But
yeah, I think that's the loophole on how the heroes will manage to avoid fighting. You know, because we know Deku has to fight him at 100%. Like they both have to be 100% at the final battle. And I kind of think that's the little loophole of how we'll kind of hold it off until they've prepared for that final battle. So that's just a prediction, though.
That's a fact.
But what did you think of the chapter overall? What are you giving this?
Oh, before I even say that, I just want to say we finally see Deku. It's been months.
Yeah.
We see him. If we don't see him for another couple months, I don't care. But we seen him. But if we see the connection that they have, and he's like, he's coming. Like he legit knows Shigaraki's coming at this split moment while they're doing hero work. So that's another thing that's like, yo, like there's obviously a connection between Deku and Shigaraki, which is pretty cool. Like the main protagonist and antagonist, like having a connection through their quirk sounds fire. Which makes me think, like, some of the people that are shaded out, like, could it be like All For One and possibly Shigaraki now? Like, the people that we absolutely can't see, like, who are they? And are they legit predecessors of the people who passed on the stockpiling power of One For All? Or could they be people that potentially connect Deku to other people that are currently still here? Like All For One.
That's a question that we gotta wait.
Yeah, but like overall, this chapter I give it a 10, bro. Like
yeah,
like
10
what?
10 out of 10, 11 out of 10s, 12 out of 10s, whatever number you want to put in that first bracket.
Hey guys, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the page.
Yep, and like I said, drop a comment down below, and we will be picking a comment out from the comment section and put into our next video. So make sure you get your comment down there, and make sure you can make it into our next video.
Show some love. Peace.
Yup, take care, guys. Peace.